There's a long tradition of high-altitude ballooning in India. TIFR has had a program for many, I would say, decades. And certainly they've done a lot of good work. A lot of good results have come from there. There's also a very long tradition of weather ballooning, people looking at meteorological phenomena, looking at atmospherics. And that's also been going on for many years. The genesis of my work, what happened was maybe 2-3 years ago, I happened to see on YouTube a video of some father and his son. They sent up an iPhone into space and they took pictures from that. I said, these people can do this from a balloon. Why can't I? And then as things go on, I see that more and more people are doing high altitude ballooning. It's not something I had ever done before. I was a traditional astronomer. To do real astronomy, to do cutting edge astronomy, one needs big and expensive facilities. There's no way around it. We need a 30-meter telescope. If I want to go into space, I need something like this Hubble Space Telescope. All billions of dollars. But that kind of money is hard to get. It's very hard to get that kind of funding from anyone. So what I thought is, what can I do with a very small amount of money? Now technology has advanced to the point that I just saw this Strand 1, I think it's called, where they sent a Nexus phone into space on a PSLV. And they got data from it. Now we've mystified space. We've said space can only be done by space agencies, space can only be done by big organizations, and yet these people send a Nexus phone into space. I know that Nexus phone it's not gone through space qualified components. They don't have any fancy equipment in there. It's just a phone that gets used to carry around in your pocket. So I thought, if they can do this, why can't I think of doing something in space? And this is actually a fundamentally new way of doing things. There are people who are now trying to do it. And so, again, I thought that in many ways there are a lot of things we can't do. If I want to send up a Hubble Space Telescope, I just don't have that technology. In India, if I want to do that, I face so many hurdles. Money is one of them. But even the engineering is so difficult. I don't have a Ball Aerospace or Lockheed Martin to build a satellite for me. And so, but then if I can send up an iPhone or a Nexus phone or anything like that, well, that I can buy in the open market for 30,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, and not for 1 crore, 6 crores. You look at Astrosat. Astrosat, even though it's by modern standards a relatively low technology satellite, the instruments themselves are upwards of 40 crores each. So that's a big investment. It's taken 15 years. Again, I don't have that kind of time. I said, I want to do something on a short time scale. Go back to the old sounding rocket philosophy where we just send something up and see what we get. So that's what we're doing with high altitude ballooning. We're buying balloons from Pavan Rubber in Pune, 2,000-3,000 rupees a balloon. We're using hydrogen gas at 700 rupees for a cylinder. So all of this is low cost. And we're trying to do things with stuff that we can buy off the shelf. This Raspberry Pi computer, 2,000 rupees. Well, what can we do? So far, we haven't done anything that's really new scientifically. But that's the goal. The goal is that we want to see if we can pick niche areas where we can do new science. One example might be if a comet comes by. If we can actually look at the comet, you can never do a space experiment to look at the comet because it takes too much time to build that space experiment. But maybe we can do it with a balloon. So that's the kind of stuff that we're trying to develop with high altitude ballooning. And in India, it's again a little difficult because there's all sorts of procedures. I think these procedures are there worldwide. You have to protect aircraft, so you have to be careful about launching near airports. But we've got all the permissions now, so now we're trying to push our high altitude ballooning with the hope that eventually the stuff that we develop for the balloon, we can then fly on a spacecraft. So if we can develop low-cost equipment, by low cost I mean a few tens of lakhs, because I just can't go cheaper. But eventually I would hope to. It would be really nice if I could do my own space launches. maybe tie up with SpaceX. But that's the goal. The goal is to build experiments that are within the reach of any university. I realize 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs is still a lot of money, but it's within the reach. It's within reach of smaller places, and that's where I want to go.